Hello and good morning and welcome. So excited to be here as always every Monday morning sharing some tips with you. And today we're going to talk about habits and routines. Because so often I get asked, what do you do? Do you have a morning routine? What do you do to help you on your healing journey? And so we want to have especially in the morning routines, we want to have a kind of strong foundation for the day and have a really big window of tolerance, okay, to start off on a good note, as I like to. So I thought let's talk about those morning routines and what we can do with how we can set up. So I'm not going to share a template with you and exactly what I did because it changed so much over the time, but I encourage you to get a pen and paper and write down these things that resonate with you, that have some kind of spark for you of interest or curiosity, especially if you're just feeling really numb and disconnected. It might be a little bit harder, so you're looking for the sparks, but write the things down that resonate with you. And the reason that I think there is no template is because it so depends on where you're at on your healing journey. So my morning routine has changed so much over the years, okay? It also depends on your personal likes or dislikes, your rhythms, your circumstances. Do you have children running around? Do you have to be at work at a certain time? Your age, your abilities and things like that. So we want to take all of that into account so you can design your own morning routine that feels good to you, that resonates with you. So then you're more likely to actually do it. It's easier to get motivated or stay motivated, okay? So I have so many notes here, but I structured it in three sections. So because I like to incorporate usually about three things. So the body, mind, and soul into the morning routine. But as I said, however much time you have, and I will start with the body, and that's kind of that's a bit of an odd one. We'll start with exercise because I so often get asked, do we have to exercise first thing in the morning? Am I meant to do yoga stretches or am I meant to go for a swim or do a cardio or go to the gym and those kind of questions. And I actually used to copy other people's morning routines, okay? So I was that. Because I thought, hey, that person is successful, so I want to copy their morning routine in the hope that this would mean that I'm successful too, that I heal, that I can fix my brain and all this kind of things. So I got up 5 o'clock in the morning, the alarm went off, I put my gym gear on, and I went to the gym to do my workout. And I hated it. There was so much resentment, there was so much resistance, there was this force and that push. And that's the energy I showed up at the gym as well. And it was busy there and it was noisy and I really didn't like it. And it wasn't when I was discussing this with a mentor that people have different rhythms. For some people that work out first thing in the morning really works well, they love it. For other people it's not. So I actually do my workout now in the middle of the day and it works beautiful for me. There's so much less resistance. I actually enjoy it because usually sort of after lunch, I have a bit of a dive. I lose some energy, I lose motivation, I start to procrastinate on things, that kind of stuff. But now when I do my exercise in the middle of the day, I get another boost for the afternoon. So that works really well for me. Okay? Don't know what it is for you. So these days, for my morning routine, I just do some stretches and I do shakes. But not actually a physical, hard workout. That's not what I do there. But what I always have is a glass of water. And that's key. If any of the practices or habits that I share with you today, this is perhaps the only one I suggest to do, even if you don't like it. Because it's so important to keep our body hydrated. We're made out of water, mostly. And really, I'm meaning drinking like pure water, not juice or any of that. Just having that glass of water, because if you're not hydrated, we feel more tired, lethargic. We get, that brain fog. It's really hard to concentrate. So if you can give ourselves that nourishment, having some water, that can be a beautiful habit. It's a fairly simple habit, and we want to set the habit so we can actually win. Okay, it's that I can be successful in. So this was actually one of my first habits. I had the glass right next to my alarm clock, so I turned the alarm off, had my glass of water, and that was something I'm done. So I could feel good. Hey, I'm someone who gets things done. I really do those things. So that really helped me to incorporate that. Okay. I won't really go into the nutrition. That's not usually part of my morning routine. Sometimes I use my breakfast as a mindfulness exercise, if you like that, to really focus in on the taste and the textures and things like that. That can be very grounding. But generally I don't do that. But the next thing I want to talk about is music, because I think it's so important. I have a friend, she puts on fun music, and she actually dances while she boils her kettle and stuff like that. That's so not me. But if you like dancing, then perhaps that is something for you too. But if you have music on in the morning, I encourage you to be very intentional about it. What are the emotions that you want to have more of in the day? Because music is so powerful to shift our moods. Okay, do you want to have some uplifting music, or even the lyrics? Really choose very carefully of that type of music. I'm very mindful of that, because I tend to gravitate to the sort of more sad, melancholic kind of songs, and obviously that's going to produce more of those kind of emotions. But I want to have a good start in the morning, so I choose something that's kind of more uplifting for myself. And I recently heard Mel Robbins. I wanted to share that one with you too. I don't know if you know that, but she high fives herself in the mirror every single morning. And there's research studies around this in children, because high five is one of the most motivating things for children to change behavior in that sense, or in schoolwork kind of thing. So if that is something that you like to do, maybe give yourself a high five in a mirror, or give a high five to your kids to start the day off. This is not something I have tried, and I even tell you why. The first thing that I thought when I heard high-fiving myself in the mirror is, I said, gee, I would have to clean my mirror more often. I don't like cleaning. But anyway, that is something that you could do. For a very long time, for a few years, I had a cold shower every single morning. Okay, starting my day off with a cold shower. For a number of reasons, I wanted to help myself to get more comfortable with feeling uncomfortable. To really get that in my head, that I'm in full control of this situation. Yes, it feels uncomfortable, but I can change the temperature of the water at any time. I can turn it off at any time. I'm in control of this. And feeling this uncomfortableness is actually safe. Like, please check with your doctor. I don't know what kind of health conditions you have, but it was safe for me to have a cold shower. To remind myself, even if that heart rate goes up slightly, to remind myself that it's safe, it's okay, I can stay with those sensations. So that has been really a helpful part of my morning routine for a while. I also like to give myself massages, like foot massages. I have very poor circulation in my feet, something like that. If you like more touch, or even giving yourself an ear massage. There's actually, I didn't know for the longest time, but there's actually, you stimulate your vagus nerve there. That also helps you to be more calm and grounded. Anything that kind of increases our window of tolerance, so we have a good start for the day. So they're kind of more the body focus ones, but next I want to go into the mind, because there's, as I said, I do body, mind and soul. I pick some from each. So I like to journal, and I recently done a workshop on where I shared my step-by-step process and how I journal for change. I won't go into detail for that, but you can do that kind of journaling, or you can journal if you know you have to make a decision today. You can journal on the pros and cons, or you can journal on a question, or do gratitude journaling, or if you have like a quote cards, I'll show you. I have those ones are from Louise Hay. I don't know whether you guys can see that, but they're quote cards. Sometimes I just like to pick a card, read it out loud, and then journal on that or meditate on that. I find that really helpful. There's so many quote cards out there, and I love looking at their pictures. Some of them are really colorful and pretty as well, so that's something I like to do. Or read a few pages of an inspirational book. Okay, key here is inspirational, not some trauma book, you know, or some heavy stuff. You want to read something inspirational, uplifting, motivating. Okay, a few pages of reading that. or you could read out your mission statement or your life purpose statement that you have for yourself. Read that out aloud to make that come really alive and help you to stay focused and aligned with your purpose. As a reminder every morning of that. Okay? So they're kind of some things I like to do for my mind. You can also, sometimes I do mindful dot exercises. I want to explain them now either, but I've done a workshop there as well where you can just do dots and become really focused on that kind of activity. But that's generally something more that I do during the day now. I find that, that's why I said you pick some things, you try it out, and I said, actually, it doesn't feel so good in the morning. It's something that I prefer to do in the afternoon, then switch it. I used to be very rigid with my routine, and very structured, and there was a time where I was more in crisis and I really needed that structure. It really helped me. I love that structure. And so perhaps you need that structure, and that's totally okay. These days I'm a lot more flexible and open. I'm so much more in tune with my body. I can listen and know what it needs from me to have that good start. Okay, so to allow yourself to be creative, allow yourself to play around, allow yourself to change things around. It doesn't have to be in any way. It's all about making it the best for yourself, so you really love it, so it feels good to you. Okay, so we're moving on to the next. So we've done the body, the mind. Now we're going to the soul, and for that part I like to meditate. So that's something that I do every day. And when I talk about meditate, I mean actually going inwards, really focusing on your breath. Okay, that or how your belly moves, those kind of sensation, being that and connecting with that oneness, how I'm connected to the universe and all this, that oneness being in. So it's more, it's quieting the mind. So every time your mind wanders off thinking about what you're going to have to do in the day or was thinking about yesterday, you're going to bring it back to the breath and to that connectedness. So I have friends, clients and mentors who meditate for 2 hours or 5 hours and things like that. That's not me. I do that practice very short. I want to keep it short because that way it gives me a sense that I can do it. Some days I can focus, it's better. Other days I'm a bit more frazzled and I start to get frustrated or irritated that I can't do it, then I stop. I put my hands on my heart, it's like, okay, that looks like it's a little bit difficult for you today. And checking in what's going on for me, and it's like, that's okay. I still accept you. You're still an okay person. We can try this again a bit later, and that's totally okay. Okay. So I keep the actual meditation short, but things like guided visualizations, I can do longer ones a day. So I quite like that. I'm a bit of a daydreamer, so that I like that. Okay. As I said earlier, mindfulness exercises, anything that involves all your senses to really, because that brings you here in the present moment. Because we don't want to think about what happened yesterday, we don't want to go worrying about what's about to happen. We're going to bring it back into the moment to really know what you see, hear, taste, touch, all those senses, incorporate that to some exercises there. Like I said, sometimes I do it with my breakfast, but most of the time I just like to be outside, listen to the birds, take in all the colors and the smells and the sounds. So that's being out in nature sometimes helps. Okay, and because morning routines don't have to be inside. Generally, most of it I do inside, but some people like to go out and about and sit in their yard or go for a walk. You can do standing meditations outside and things like that as well. So that, as I said, there's no rules. It needs to feel good to you. It needs to resonate with you. Another thing I do is I listen to Holosync. That's something that I've been done since 2015 every single day. I have a blog on that on my website, so I'm not going to go in detail about this, but you just put on some headphones and you listen to that sound, and it helps you to calm down some the brain waves and change that. So I like that. Some people like to pray, saying mantras, gratitude, being grateful, like in journaling or meditating on that, focusing on that. And that is something I really want to highlight, because often, depending on where you're at again on your healing journey, it might be really difficult for you to feel grateful. You might not be able to come up with anything, okay? And that was me. Okay, it was the hardest. I didn't have anything, and there was a time where when I went to bed, I prayed. I wished that I would never wake up. That's how I fell asleep, wishing that I would never wake up again. So that was not. I didn't feel like there was anything that I could be grateful for. So I just want to share that with you too. So depending on where you're at on the healing journey, that can really, really shift. Because now when I wake up, I always spend a moment being really grateful to actually have another day, to have the blessing of this day. Because I don't know, it's not given that I have it tomorrow, but today I got another chance to practice being kind with myself, with the people in my life. I get another chance to be of service and support people, or contribute to this, to the society, to the world, to nature and things like that. So I can be grateful for that now. So please don't beat up on yourself when there's some exercises might just not be the right thing for you, full stop. It's just not your personality. You just don't like those kind of, like I said, dancing is not my thing. And that's totally okay. It doesn't mean anything about you. Okay, we don't need to mean that anything about you. This is our freedom now. You get to pick from that list whatever kind of creates some sparks for you and feels good, and then you go and hopefully you're willing to actually give it a try, to explore it, to tweak it, to change it, to make it yours, and so it really feels good. To me, that's the most important thing in the morning, that I do stuff that feels good for me. That helps me to have the best foundation to start with, and a big window of tolerance to start the day. So I know I shared a lot and I talked really fast today, but hopefully you got something out of it, and maybe you can share some of the habits and routines that you found helpful over the years with us too, so that we have even more examples for people to pick from who still feel stuck there. What I think I think I covered it all. But yeah, please be kind with yourself. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I'm happy to help, happy to answer your question there. So thank you so much. And as always, sending you lots and lots of love and rainbows to brighten up the tough times just a little. See ya. Bye.